She sells fried rice by the seashore. She sells fried rice by the seashore. She sells fried Hi guys, and welcome to my kitchen. If you are new here, my name is Kaylee, and today in my kitchen we're going to be making a fried rice. Now we're making a beef fried rice, but we're trying to amp it up a little bit. So we actually went out and bought this beautiful piece of Japanese A5 Wagyu to add to the fried rice. Now, if you're a Wagyu lover or a steak lover, you're probably thinking this is totally not the right way to cook Wagyu. I've had it a few times before. Usually when I have Wagyu, I just cook it the same way I would a nice traditional steak. Maybe serve it alongside some white rice or even some nice bread because it's very rich, very fatty. But today, I just thought, why not kick it up a little bit and take our fried rice to the next level. For today's fried rice, I'm not following a specific recipe. I am using a little bit of inspiration. A few years ago, we went to a restaurant called Lucky in Toronto, and they had the most amazing fried rice that happened to have Kobe beef inside. So I thought, why not try it out? I've got my hands on some beautiful A5 Wagyu, so we're gonna do our best, not necessarily to recreate that dish, but just use it as inspiration. To go inside of the fried rice, I've got a white onion, a lot of shiitake mushrooms. I'm trying to get that rich umami flavor. I think it'll pair nicely with the A5. Theo wants in the video. We've got a thumb of ginger, a few cloves of garlic, and then some spring onions to top it off. It wouldn't be fried rice without the rice. And I've already got some rice cooked up here. The big secret to fried rice is having old rice. You don't want to make fresh rice and use that in the fried rice. You could, but you actually want it a little bit drier. So this is some fried rice that I cooked up earlier this morning. It's even better if you can use day-old rice. When mixing up our fried rice, I don't have any oil yet on my station. I'm hoping that I'll be able to use just some of the oil from the fat of the A5. If not, we'll add a little bit of extra. But as always, the recipe will be posted down below once I've got all the measurements finalized. Of course, we need some soy sauce, and to top off the fried rice, we're going extra today. So we're gonna put a fried quail egg on top, because why not? Right now, we're gonna clear off our station and start to get the prep ready. I want everything sort of chopped up and ready to go. So as soon as I can put all the components into the wok, fry up that rice, it's go time. Everything's set and we're rocking. Every middle-aged dad ready to rock and roll when you're leaving the restaurant. I minced up the ginger and garlic, and I realized 1 thumb of ginger is a lot for this particular recipe. We'll probably end up using about a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons, because it plays nicely off of the rest of the components. It's got a nice sweet yet spicy and fresh hit, and I think just a little bit, not too much, is exactly what we need. Chop up the shiitake mushrooms into nice thin slices. A quarter of the white onion, that gets diced up as well. And then the last thing was about 3 bunches of green onions. Now our Wagyu is out of the packaging. It looks amazing. It's so marbled. There's a lot of fat in there that's gonna add a great rich flavor into our fried rice. Now this piece is quite big, and I don't think we're gonna need the whole thing for the fried rice. So I'm gonna cook this up just like I would any other Wagyu steak that I'm making, but half of this will go into the fried rice. The other half, we're gonna eat as a steak and also have a bit of a taste test. Before we sear the steak, we're gonna season it generously with some salt and pepper. To sear up our steak today, I'm gonna be using some clarified butter or some ghee inside the cast iron skillet. We like to use this one at home because we find it doesn't smoke as much, especially living in a condo. We need to be mindful of that. It still has that nice rich buttery flavor, but it doesn't burn as much as normal butter. So we're gonna be using this for today. I did end up cutting the steak. I know it looks like sacrilegious. I cut it in 2 pieces just because the cast iron skillet's a little bit small and I don't wanna cook it unevenly. When we're cooking our Wagyu, because it's such a thin piece, I really think it's only gonna take about 1 or 2 minutes on each side. We're just looking to get that nice sear from the cast iron skillet. Once we take it off of the heat and it's to the side resting, it's still gonna cook a little bit more. We'd rather have this slightly under than over, because when we put it into our fried rice, we toss it all together, it'll get more heat and cook just a little bit more there too. Right now our A5 is cooked perfectly. Usually when I'm cooking a thicker steak, I really like my steaks rare to medium rare, but because this type of steak is so marbled and so fatty, it's best prepared when it's about a medium. That way some of that fat can render down, but it's still going to be so juicy. I'm excited. Oh man. Cooked perfectly. The seasoning is so simple. Salt and pepper. Truly, that's all you need for a steak. If you are putting steak sauce on your steak, we need to have a talk. You should come and try it. It's really good.
Oh my God.
Bruh. There's a really strong beefy flavor. It's not overpowering. It's not like an aged or dry aged steak, but it's a beautiful beefy taste. And because of the high fat content, it's like a burst of almost like buttery. It just melts in your mouth. There's no really big pieces of fat that are like gristly. It's very silky smooth like butter. It's amazing. I can't compare it to anything else. Over here, I've already cut off some of the really big pieces of fat. There's one in this steak as well, and I'm gonna chop that out too, because I'm gonna actually use these in our stir fry as our oil. So instead of adding any sesame oil, peanut oil, anything like that, we'll drop this into the wok when it's time to start cooking everything up. So we put the chunks of the beef fat into our wok and we've let that render down. So we've got a pretty good amount of oil. I would say about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of oil in here. Now it's time to start adding in the aromatics. So we're gonna put in all of the garlic. Again, we chopped up about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. And then we're gonna add in some of the ginger. Again, one thumb was too generous, so probably about half of this amount, a teaspoon or 2, just to keep everything balanced. We've still got some of the butter, the clarified butter in the fat from before when we cooked the steak. I'm actually gonna add that in here as well. It's like when you deglaze a pan. You don't want anything to go to waste. That's all just some beautiful flavor that'll add another level to this dish. And now, because we've added in that oil and that butter, the mushrooms look silky and smooth. Everything is cooking down beautifully, and it's almost time to start adding in the rest of our elements. One thing I completely forgot about are peas. We happen to have them at home, so I figured why not throw those in as well. They add a little pop of texture and a nice balance of sweetness to the dish. You could use fresh or frozen. We're gonna pop those right in. It's time for the rice. So nice, I cooked it twice. So that's bad. Right here, I cooked about 2 cups of uncooked rice, and now it's yielded about 4 cups of cooked rice. I love jasmine rice. It always doubles in size. So now I'll be able to have fried rice all week. So right now, I've taken the burner and I've upped the heat to about a medium, almost a high heat. Right now, I'm really trying to cook out any excess moisture that's in the dish. If your rice starts to stick, don't panic. It's actually nice to have that crispy rice as well. Just keep stirring it, making sure that you're getting those crispy bits. We don't want those to go to waste. It's almost Wagyu time. We did add in about a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Not too much. We don't want it to be too salty or overpower everything, but honestly, the Wagyu is the star of this dish. Okay, right now it's just about time to toss in the Wagyu. Everything is well incorporated in our fried rice, and I actually turned the heat all the way off. The beef is fully cooked. I don't want it to cook too much more, and everything here is cooked and incorporated, so we're just gonna take our beef and put that into the rice. All right, second to last step to finish off our fried rice. Instead of mixing in egg to help bind everything together, I'm gonna top it off with a fried quail egg. So I'm heating up my pan here. I wanna make sure it's nice and hot. So when I put in that quail egg, it's pretty small, so it's gonna cook really fast. I want to leave the top, the yolk, as runny as possible. It just adds one more delicious element to our fried rice. World's smallest egg. Okay, it's time to plate up. We're gonna put all of our components together. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this fried rice, it smells incredible, into my bowl. I'm also gonna top this with some spring onions. And last but not least, the tiniest little fried egg that ever did live. Oh, it's so cute. It's finally time. I'm so excited to dig in. Oh my goodness. It's so beefy, but not in an overpowering way. It's buttery, it's tender. I think all of those components really pair nicely together. It doesn't taste like there's anything missing. Usually when we make fried rice, if we make a chicken fried rice, something like that, we'll add in some corn or some carrots, some veggies that add a little bit of a sweetness. In this dish, we didn't want to overpower it. So there's a few peas to add a pop of flavor and a bit of texture, but nothing overpowers the beef. The shiitake mushrooms were a great call. You could use any mushroom, but I really highly recommend shiitake if you can get your hands on them. They soften up quite a bit when they're fried, and they absorb a ton of flavor from the Wagyu. It's a perfect pairing. I'm definitely remaking this dish. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. This was an awesome dish. If you try this dish at home, please tag me on any and all social media. I cannot wait to see your recreations. Comment down below what you want to see me make next in my kitchen. Could be anything and everything. I can't wait to continue learning with you in my kitchen. And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. There's a notification bell, hit that as well so you'll be notified every single time that I post and you won't miss a single video each week. Thank you again, and until next time, bye guys.